Hey everyone, welcome back to Pajama Crafts, where I do crafts in my pajamas. I have two really cute DIYs for you guys today. I'm starting off with this Dollar Tree flip sign and just cutting off the twine hanger so that I can easily paint it. You will see Zach's feet walking by quite a bit in this video. We live in a small apartment, so I only have a little bit of room to do my crafts right now. And I did say I was going to paint this, but that's not right. I actually used some craft paper, and this scrapbook paper is from Hobby Lobby, and I get it when it's half off. They do sales on the Paper Studio every other week, so if you go on the week when they're having the sale, you can get some really pretty paper for very cheap. And this came in the book called Country Roads. I love it. Like, every paper in there is so pretty. And then I'm just going around the edges of this with a knife. It didn't cut all the way through in some spots. I probably just wasn't pushing down hard enough, so then I used some scissors too. But this was really nice to give me an easy outline without trying to go around that middle piece and all that with scissors. So I would suggest doing it this way if you can. Now I'm just tossing away that middle piece because I'm going to be painting the little flip sign, but if you want to use the paper, you can use that part that you cut out, and you're just going to need to trim it down a little bit. Next, I'm just covering the sign with Mod Podge and applying my paper. I'm using some Waverly chalk paint from Walmart in the color Plaster to paint the little middle piece. If I had been thinking, I would have turned this over and painted it on the back, just so it would have been easier not to get it on the paper. But if you're careful, it's fine. But that's just a little tip that might make it easier for you that I didn't think of till afterward. I ended up doing 2 coats on each side to cover up those bright colors. I'm taking a stencil from Walmart and a black paint marker, and I'm just writing out the words Fresh Flower Market. These are just small letters, so I just went ahead and filled them in with my paint marker. If they were bigger, I would have just filled them in with some paint, but they're so small, so I'm just using my paint marker. And then I used another stencil from Walmart with a different font to write open and closed on the little flip sign. I do have a few really cute clips of Brie at the end of this video, so make sure to watch till the end. Also, just thanking you guys again so much for all your support on my channel. I passed 4,000 subscribers maybe a week ago, and I'm just so excited. Can't wait to get to 5,000 and do that giveaway for you guys. I am taking some sandpaper and just kind of sanding down the edges a little bit so that it looks a little more, just a little older, but also there's a few spots where the paper was a little too long or just overlapping the edge, and so I just kind of pushed down on those spots or ran my sandpaper down. You can see what I'm doing here, hopefully. And that just took off the edges of the paper that were overlapping. And then I also just kind of tried to sand down the edges of the paper a little bit too, so it look a little more vintage and old. That's the same thing, but you know what I'm saying. I'm taking some gray Waverly chalk paint in the color Elephant from Walmart, and I'm just dry brushing that onto the open part of the sign, the open and closed, and I'm just wiping my brush off on a paper towel first, getting all the paint out that I can, and then brushing it on. You can always put, you can always add more. I just don't like to get too much and then I have to go back over it with the white, so I always do a little bit, and I just think it looks a lot more realistic than if you had those big streaks on there too. It's hard to see in the video, but hopefully you can see it a little more up close in the picture. So I have these fabric flowers that I made in a video a while back, and they are just so cute, I think. And I used them on a different DIY, but I didn't really love how that turned out. So I've been like ripping these flowers off of there for a while and putting them on new projects. So I just hot glued those down. But if you want to see how I made those, I will leave the link to that video in the description box. I didn't really love how it ended up with the flowers on the bottom. I wish I had left those off. It looked cute when I was laying down, I thought, but when I actually stood it up as a sign, I just really didn't love the bottom part, so I kind of covered that with a little glass thing of flowers, but I still think it turned out cute. Sorry if you guys can hear the mowing and like weed eater in the background. They're doing the lawns here at my apartment and they're really loud. So sorry if that's in the background. But anyway, for this next DIY, I'm using another sign that I got from Dollar Tree. It was already partly messed up, but I didn't care. I'm actually going to use the back, but I'm just trying to sand off most of the glitter because Dollar Tree glitter just falls off everywhere and I don't want this sign leaving a trail. So I just went ahead and tried to sand off as much glitter as I could, and then we're going to be painting the back side of the sign. So we're using that Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster again for this project, and I ended up giving this 2 coats. Once my paint had dried, I'm taking those same stencils from Walmart and I'm writing premium quality coffee. For the premium quality, I'm using this stencil from Walmart, and then the coffee part, I think that was a stencil from Michael's a long time ago. But I'm using my paint marker again. I try to start in the middle of the word and then go out from there so that my letters or my words will be centered. This one I did mess up and it wasn't completely centered, but I really love how it turned out because I used a little picture just to kind of make everything look like it was in the right place. So don't be discouraged if you mess up or if something wasn't exactly as you planned it to be, because you can still make it look awesome. And I was really happy with the results, even though at first I was a little disappointed. Now I'm just filling in the smaller letters with my paint marker, and then I use some black apple barrel paint to fill in the bigger letters. Now you can see that my first word was a little off center, so I decided to make quality underneath premium centered underneath that word, and then I'm using a picture to offset it so it doesn't look so out of place. And I just looked for a picture on Pinterest of a coffee cup, and I just picked a really simple one because I'm not good at drawing, but I just kind of drew it out on a piece of paper, and once I got it to how I liked it, I just went ahead and scribbled the pencil all the way on the back and used it to transfer onto my paper. And to transfer it onto my paper, I'm just going over it with a pen and pressing down as hard as I can, and that should transfer the lead onto my sign. And then I can use my paint marker to do the outline, and then I also filled that in with the black apple barrel paint. If you're gonna paint in your letters, or just like I'm doing in the cup too, it's always so much easier if you outline it with a paint marker first. You can use a Sharpie, but I prefer a paint marker because then if you don't get all the way to the edge, with a Sharpie, the tone, what do you call it, the tint, I don't know, of the black, it's just not exactly the same as the paint. So I like to use the paint markers. That way I can just not worry about having to be make such perfectly straight lines because the paint marker's already done that for me and I just have to fill in, if that makes sense. And it's just so much easier than trying to fill in pencil lines with paint. I highly suggest it. Now I'm just outlining the sign. I was not worried about making this super neat. I want it to look distressed. So I just went around one time with my lines, and then I just went back around and made the lines a little bit thicker. I did decide to make a little design on the top and the bottom. I just made a circle and then some little thingies. I don't know what they're called. I don't know if they even have a name. Almost like a teardrop, but to the side. And it wasn't perfect by any means, but I don't mind. I don't want it to look exactly perfect. But if you wanted it to look perfect, you could use a stencil or you could print something from your computer. But I just wanted to do a quick little design here, and I think it came out cute. Lastly, I'm doing a little distressing. I'm taking some more of that white paint. I'm just using what I have in the lid there because I just want barely any on my brush, and then I'm going to brush all that I can onto my paper towel. And then I'm using the white paint to distress the black parts of the sign, kind of tone those colors down a little bit. They're really crisp and clean looking right now, and I want this to look a little bit more distressed. I also went back in with a little bit of the black paint just to distress the white, and this I'm being sure to use very, very little, just so I don't get a lot of streaks, but more of like an older vintage, just distressed, worn out look without getting those big streaks. You know what I mean. And you can't actually see it really well in the video, but I'll lift that up to the camera so you can see it a little bit better once it's done. In real life, you can see it a little better than my camera is picking up here. I do want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more DIYs like these. Don't forget to follow me on my social media too. I post a lot of projects that I do that sometimes I'm not able to do on my channel. And of course on my Instagram I have a lot more videos and pictures of Bree and the rest of the family, which I know you love to see. So be sure to follow me on all my social media, and those links will be in the description box. I think this turned out so cute. It's definitely my favorite of the two. Thanks for watching. Bye! You want some more puffs? You want some more? Oh my goodness. So excited. Wait for mommy to open them, okay? What are you doing? What are you doing? You like that blanket? You're so silly. Ooh, soft. Be careful of the ottoman. You're so funny. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, there he goes. So soft.